Hi guys, just a quick intro before this video gets started. This video is going to be a tips and tricks video to help you guys play this beautiful game in 2023. There are all tips, so these are all going to be tips that I wish I knew when I first started. It's quite a hard and unforgiving game if you don't know what you're doing. So whether you're new to the game or been playing it a while, I hope all of these tips help. I'm going to be playing the game as I think of all these different tips and tricks, so bear with me, as there's going to be lots of great tips to help you out along the way. Subscribe here if you're new and if you like the video. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's a slightly different video. Just want to kick off 2023 with the Farthest Frontier video because there's a lot of there was a lot of things when I first started this game which didn't make sense. It's just going to be a general tips, tricks, anything I think to myself that I wish I'd knew at the time of starting this game. It's going to be in this video, so stick around to see all the tips and everything else I've got for you guys. I'm just going to sort of go through and play the game as if I was normally, and then I'll stumble upon some other tips and whatnot. Right, so the first one I'm going to start it off with, as I've got somebody here at the trade post, is the trading post because of a few different reasons. I'm just going to pause it so it doesn't go away. Right, there's a couple of tips. I've got two people here working in the trading post because in sort of on the left hand side you can transfer items from your town to the like storage for the trading post, basically. So if I use the herbs as an example, because that's on the top of the list, I can transfer herbs, so from my town to the trading post I can have, let's say I want 42. Click confirm, and now these two runners, obviously it says idling, unable to work up here in a minute. So these two people here are going to run from the storage, grab 42 herbs and put them in here, in which then case I can sell them for 5 gold at a time. This bit here is a bit confusing, but let me explain this as well. So you've got an arrow to the left and to the right. That means this person is willing to buy this item and sell this item to me. This side is just, he's trying to buy it off me if it's going this way, so I can give him the items, if that makes sense, and vice versa, the other way around. He's only selling these items, so I can't give him any of this stuff. For example, with the smoked meat, I've got 893, but I can't sell him any. He's only trying to sell me them. So when I go this way, see it says minus now. That's because I'm buying them off him. So hopefully that made sense. Don't think I need while I'm here. Right, this is another thing. This is how much gold he has. So if I had all 124 on here and I tried to sell them to him, he'll cap out at 1,615 gold, so he can't sell me or give me any more. This on this side is all of his stuff, what he has to offer or wants. What else can I say? Right, transferring the gold. This is how I move the gold from my trading post to the town storage. So I can move, see at the minute in my top right of the screen up here, I've got 3,480 gold. I can move it into the trading post if I want to buy something, or I can keep it in the storage. You can move it around to whatever suits you. I'm going to keep it as it is for now. Right, so that's probably tip number 1, and probably the most confusing one I couldn't get used to at the start. There's probably only one other thing I want to say. Be careful if you don't pause it and I go ×3 speed. Two things are going to happen. Oh, hello. Two things are going to happen. This is going to start filling up because obviously the people are now running. See, now it says stocking trading post. That's because now they're running to deliver me 42 herbs so I can sell them to this to this guy. Right, different people give you different things. This is a perfect example now because another trader has just arrived, as you can see. So he's only got 50 days and then he's gone. So if you only have one person running, this fills up very slowly unless you've already got it in here. So another tip I would say is, let's say I wanted to sell smoked meat, or let's use a different example. Right, let's use tallow. Right, so if I wanted to sell this, I can click transfer items. Even though he's not buying, I can click transfer items, transfer them into my trading post from my town to my trading post by moving it this way, and then click obviously OK, and then it will see how I've got 346 here already. So if somebody does come along which wants to buy this, I've already got it in here, so my runners don't need to do anything. But it does help having two in here to get this quickly transferred into my trading post so I can sell it to him straight away. Right, let's see what number 2 has to offer, see if there's anything I can pick up. Okay, so I've got none in here, but on a normal day if I did have some, I would sell them to him. That's another thing as well. The arrows tell you if he's selling it far above average price, below average price, sort of average price. It will tell you what they're offering. Is there anything? No, they're not offering anything. So if I go back to Trader 1 and I go speed things back up again, hopefully soon, we'll start seeing this increase. But we've got to keep an eye on the days because he might be gone. There you go. So 24 out of 42 is already in there. Again, I have got to keep an eye on the days in case he just disappears and he's gone. But hopefully my runners, this person's wandering and unable to work for some reason. So I've only got one person. So that's why it's going a lot slower than it would normally. Now they're both unable to work. 42 out of 42. So pause it again. So yeah, I have both of them now because he was obviously delivering. So now he's selling them to me far above average price. So I'm going to sell all 42 to him. Obviously if I'm going this way, that means he's trying to get them off me. This way I'm giving them to him. So for this transaction, for all 42 herbs, he's going to give me 210 gold. I'll sell the item and you'll see now I've got 210 gold added to this. I wouldn't recommend selling stuff you need. So don't just sell it because you've got loads of it, because some things you might need lots of. Like I was selling quite a lot of clay up until the other day, even though now I need clay. So I've got, as you can see, transfer gold back into my place. As you can see here now, I need, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people working now gathering ore for clay, because I need them for these buildings down here. I need them, oh god, I didn't do it. Yeah, I needed them for those buildings. Right. What is another tip I can suggest? Right, tip number 2. If you have farms, food, anything that's gathering any food or anything like that, it's highly recommended that you get to town centre 3 as quick as possible, because your food will be spoiling quite a lot unless you have, oh, no, not her, unless you have one of these. Now the Cooper will produce barrels, which is so much better for storing the food. It helps it to stop spoil, so it's not spoiled. So as you can see here, it uses iron and wood planks to make barrels, which increase the longevity in stored food items. This is brilliant. This is exactly what you need, because I went from struggling with my food, getting like 1 month's worth of food for 172 people, to now between 5 and sort of 10 months of food at a time, just because the food lasts a lot longer. So that is crucial to have. Yeah, it's just crucial. This Also, granary is a fantastic thing to have. It stores other bits and bobs, makes it difficult for rats and other pests to steal food, so again, you can keep the storage of your food. It's okay having lots and lots of things building your food up, you know, hunters and foraging shacks and all that sort of stuff. It's okay to have loads and loads of them, because trust me, I have loads of them dotted around everywhere. Where else have I got some? I've got some over here, because there's deer sighted over here quite a lot. So I've got 3 over here. I've got one down here behind me. I've got loads up here. If this ever gets up here. I've got loads up here. So it's okay to have loads, but it's no good having loads if you can't keep the food, because it will just spoil and it will just get rid of. Okay, right. Tip 3: whenever you're building loads and loads of houses, try and keep in mind that you're going to need a market. This is what I like to do. I like to have a market, which obviously monthly income gives me gold each month. I like to have a school next to it. It increases the desirability of your houses by quite a lot, and so does healer's house. But if I have all 3 of them in a row, not only am I getting monthly income from the markets, I've got a school right next to it, so the people that are living here can go straight to school. The newborn babies go straight to school or whatnot as soon as they're ready. It helps them. It helps me use them, people that have gone to school, for the healer's house, because you can only see here, it says on the this person, it says education basic. That's because this person has been to school. Without the school there, if I have, out of all these 172 people, if I didn't have any schools, nobody would have any education. So nobody could work this healer's house, which means everyone that gets sick will eventually die. See in the top left in a minute, nobody's ill. But yeah, they can get smallpox, foot wounds, broken legs. They can get poisoning, all sorts of different stuff. So without the healer's house, I've got 3 of them in total. At each sort of at each sort of section in my town. So that's what I like to do in terms of the setup, and then build all my houses around the market in this sort of area, the catchment area if you like. Also water, so wells, very important, because there's no good having all of these houses without any wells, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look here, this will tell you where the best place to put water is. So here water is about 60%, 62%. Closer to the water you get, the better water bonus. See, that's 100% because that's in the water. So the closer you can put your well to water, the better. So I've got, as you can see, I've got one here, one here, one here, one here, and I've got them next to sort of every sort of, I don't know, however distance you want to call that, I've got a well. And that is because if a building has got low water, it will then catch fire and burn. And then if the villagers don't have enough time to put the water out by themselves without using the well, having to go to the water then come back to the house, it will catch fire and the whole lot will be burning. So to have the water next to it is very handy. So let's say this house here was on fire, or this house here. If this house here was on fire, all the villagers that are at work all over here will have to run to the water, then run all the way to that house. By that time, it's probably on fire, it's caught everything else on fire, it's all burning. So, this house is on fire, they run there, it's all put out, it's all safe, all good. Also, each one of these houses, as you can see in the storage, has water. They all need water. So if there's water close, they haven't got to run from there to there to get the water. It just decreases the chance that it's going to get fire. So it's so handy, and it only costs, what does it cost to make? 20 whatever you want to call that, workforce, work power, whatever. Somebody's basically got to stand there for 20 seconds or whatnot if you're on speed times 3. It costs 3 logs and a couple of wood, so it's not a lot at all. As you get better and you start using the trading posts and you do get a lot more gold, I recommend it to buy stuff like the large parks, what's that, the festival coals. It increases the desirability of your town. It makes people want to go to these houses and actually live there. So pretty much all these houses are going to have quite a lot of people because it's really desirable area. If I show you, you can actually see, if you go on decorations, this is how you make the desirability increase. You can see on here in the top right of the large park sign, it says desirability and it's got 2 arrows. So now you can see, and it will tell you wherever you place it, it will tell you what buildings it's affecting. So if I put it over here, it's going to affect none of these buildings. So if I put, the closer I put it to them, the more it will increase. See, you get 2, 3, 4% increased. So that's what it does. And obviously, whenever you put work buildings down, it makes the area, as you can see in red, not desirable. So people don't want to work there. The darker green, the greens are really good. People want to work there. See, again, I've got 2 iron things up there. It's red. I don't want to live there. This is a really desirable area. Very good. And this here is obviously, as you can see, all of my work stuff. So I try and keep it all at the same time because nobody wants to live next to a graveyard and all the work buildings, do they? So I try and keep it all over there. Same goes with the what do you call them? If you do any farming or anything like that, if you hold stuff to do with farming, if you go to food and you go into the farm, it will tell you where's the best place to put them. Where's the best place to put the farms? So it's over here, sort of this section. Over here, the Greenland, this is very good to put it in. So you can see it's 77%, 60s, 81%, 70%. So you can see where the best place to put things are. So don't just click it and put it in a random place. You think, oh, this is a nice area, let's put it there. Because it might be actually the worst place for you to put it. For gathering food, you need hunters' cabins, forager shacks, fishing shacks. Obviously the fishing shacks, for example here, get fish, of course, simple as that. Don't really know how else to put that one. Put it by water. Every now and again you get symbols. I don't know if I can show you. Let me put some speed on. Yeah, you'll get symbols that come up to show you where to put certain things. You'll get symbols coming up. I'm trying to find examples. There's no examples. No examples right now. But you can get signs that say deer have been spotted. I tend to get signs here. Deers have been spotted, and you can get the signs for fish. So just try and place your fishing shacks by fishing signs, your hunters' cabins by deer signs, and all that sort of stuff. That's common sense, but when you start the game, you won't know that. You'll just try and put them in any random place, and they won't be doing anything, and you won't know why. Let me just pause the game quickly to show you the other example. See this sign here? This building has sick residents, and it's typhoid that they've got. So they'll either run to one of the healers. So I'm assuming yeah, they run up here normally for some reason. I don't know why, but for some reason they run up here. So in here now I've got one person working. Education is basic, that's how he's able to work in here again. And this is the person that basically he is healing her. Simple as that. So that's how that works. Again, gardens, small gardens. It all increases the desirability of the sort of area to live in. So people are going to want to stay there. About defences. Defences aren't incredibly necessary unless you're playing on the hard difficulty. Like this map right now is everything is easy. It's easy to get. This is just for video purposes. So I've only got, let's see the defences. yeah, let's keep that this side. So I've got one here, so looking this side, I've got fences going all the way around, because I'll tell you why is that I've done it like this. Normally the fences, you can bring it up to a mountain, they can't go around, so you can bring it up to a mountain. If they try to attack now, they would have to either run all the way around, or they'd have to go through the walls, in which case my towers would kill them before they got in. Well, hopefully, that's the idea of it anyway. Of course, build gates so the workers can get in and out. But if I build it against the mountains and against the lakes, see there's a gap here, they still won't be able to get in. They'd have to go through the they'd have to try and get through either side, and they tend to stay as well on the paths. So they'd have to go through either this side or this side, and obviously in which case I've got a tower waiting from here and I've got a tower waiting for them here. But before they get to that point, they'd have to go through this tower here, which is sort of protecting these outer buildings. Again, they can't go through the water, so this whole section here, this whole sort of side, is very it's got a lot of defence to it, because they can't go anywhere else. They're not going to run the whole way around. And even if they did, I'll show you why it's a bad idea. They'd have to run all the way around. Again, they can't run through the water. This is all blocked off. Can't run through the water. This is all blocked off. And it goes all the way up to the mountain. I couldn't build this any higher, so they can't go around that either. And even if they did, they're blocked off again this side. In which case they'd be dead before my towers got to them. So that's just a generalised thing. Why I built the walls like this, if you can see these walls here, why I built it like that at a weird angle is because of up here, these are all wolf dens. If you click F4, it tells you what different things are around. So this is your iron ore, it tells you what is on the map, what is around. So wolf den, they've got all of these wolf dens, 6 wolf dens here. They kept coming down and attacking all of my villagers. So I built this over, and now they can't come in. And if they do get close, they're going to get shot. To an extent, you know, if they get to the walls, they're going to get shot. So that is why I built that like that. That's probably the only thing you've got to watch out for. But then again, I've got the gates everywhere, so the villagers can get in and out from where they're working. Here you go, deer sighted. So this, you can see them down here. If you look, when I hover over the deer sighting, it'll tell you where they are. See, my hunters just killed a deer, but they're working, they're hunting. I've put my hunter's cabin, I've got 3 of them here, as you can see by the circles. They're all hunting the deer. You can, that's another thing, that's another tip. You can move this working area. You can click on the hunter's cabin, and you can click that, and now the hunters will focus wherever you put the thing here. And you can see by the arrow, see the bottom one, it'll work on the traps as well. So you can move this to wherever you want it to maximise what you're getting out of it. So obviously, because there's a deer sighting here, you're going to get an increased chance to get the deers. Another thing as well with your food, see I've got this like vineyard looking thing set up. This isn't. This is a foraging shack, but as of at the minute, the only bush or whatever you want to call them that you can move is a berry bush. I didn't know this until recently, so I'm hoping you guys didn't know this either. But you can actually click this button in the top right of it, and you can move the bush to where you want it to go. So if you put these foraging shacks, like see this one here, I've got one there, and I've got one up here as well. You can move the bushes that are around, and you tend to get blueberry bushes near the water's edge. You can move them all here, so then they can put it in, and it's really quick. And then once you've got all the smokehouse and the granary and the cooper near it, it will store it and it will survive so much longer. Again, fish icon, fish one here. I've got the fishing shack there, fishing over it. Again, fish shack, fishing icon. That hopefully now makes sense. You can only place clay pits on a clay deposit. You can only put a coal one on coal. Same with gold ore, you can only put on a gold ore. iron ore, you can only put on the iron ore. So if I give you an example, if I go to iron ore, it's in resources, then you've got iron mine, gold mine and coal mine. So if I go to iron, it will show you, obviously I can't put it here because the slope is too deep and it's unpavable terrain, yeah? In here, it's now just slope too steep, so I'd have to flatten it out. Oh, there you go, look. My minerals are in range. So I can place my thing here and it will mine all around it. It's as simple as that. I've got it. I can put one sort of on here if I can find one. See, the minerals are in range. Iron ore has got 2 arrows plus because it's now mining that. If that makes sense. I've got 2 here because obviously, of course, I had to flatten this little edge. As you can see now, I had to flatten this edge so I could place 2 on there. But now it's in the range of 3 iron ore. So I've got 7,000. I've got just under 8,000 yield there. 22,000, just under 22,000 there. And probably the same there. Is that both? Yeah, they're both 22,000. So they're probably both working on this one. So I'm getting thousands and thousands of iron ore from them. The gold one looks like the same, but it's just got a gold. Instead of this colour, it's a gold colour. Oh, here we go. It's a good example. Gold ore. Gold ore. So eventually now, because I haven't got anything harvesting gold ore, I'm going to need to come out of maybe out of here with the road coming up, a path, sorry, coming up here to get the gold ore. Oh, where is it? Up here. So it'd have to come all the way out of the fence up here to get the gold ore. You always want to try and put dirt roads down because it allows the villagers to move faster. It allows them to move so much faster. As well as if you've got buildings that are making, let me try and find it so I can show you, shoes. It allows, yeah, here you go. I'll let you read it up here. Make shoes enable villagers to walk faster and to avoid injury whilst working. So that's all. That helps you, helps the villagers move faster, which in turn helps you gain more resources. You've got the shoes, you've got the what do I say? The t-shirts, which obviously and clothes, which help the villagers keep warm, healthy, keeps them happy, so they work better. Everything that you see in these resources. So let me go through top to bottom because this is actually quite. You're going to need to know what each one of these do. Market, as I've spoken about, helps you bring gold income in. Graveyards, I suggest building these because it doesn't need to take up a whole lot of room. These are the 2 graveyards that I've got. If you can see, I've got 23 people in this graveyard and 9 in this graveyard. It helps them get buried so they're not lying around. And if they're lying around, the villagers, of course, aren't going to like it. So I suggest building something like that. It doesn't take long, doesn't take a lot of resources. Not a lot at all, it's just stone really. It's not a lot at all. You've got the healer's house, which I've spoken about, which heals people. School, which teaches people to obviously work in the healer's house. The festive thing just makes the villagers happy, so you can put them near houses as well. Rat catcher, that's another thing I need to mention. A rat catcher, I had a problem with this up until recently. I've got one here, which is working in these houses. I've got one here, which is working on these houses, which simply just catches rats. There we go. So you'll need to have them by your buildings, and I'll tell you why. If you don't have one of these close to your building, either a compost yard, these buildings are all going to fill up with everyone's poo, basically, or their feces. So you're going to need to collect somebody's going to need to work here to collect all of their feces close by. You don't want more miles away. Close by, it will deposit all their feces in here. But if you don't have one of these compost yards, you're going to start building up feces, and you're going to get a sign above the house saying feces, whatever, you need to build a compost yard. But if you don't, that's when rats start coming in. And rats will destroy the houses. Basically, nobody want to live there. All your hard work of placing all these things, building all these nice things, is going to go to waste because you've got rat infestation. So you don't want that. The other one I've got for compost yard is up here, which is obviously helping everything down this sort of end. Okay, alright, next one. That's the rat catcher, done that one. Pub, I haven't put a pub down yet, so I'm not 100% on this, but again, this is tier 3, so that's when you get to tier 3, so probably not worth mentioning right now. These are shelters, so these are the places where this is the houses basically, so this is just general. Basically, you need to keep the amount of houses for the amount of people you've got, so you need to have more houses than people basically. Yeah, simple as that. This temporary shelter is good. See, I've got one here, and I've also got one down here. So at the minute I've got nobody in it, but when people work over here, or down here, it's absolutely miles away from their house. So what happens is these villagers only work for a certain amount of time, then they have to go back home and rest, then they come back. So these temporary shelters allow them to go home here, then back to work. So they haven't got to run all the way back, spend 10 minutes there, then run all the way back again. They can run there, then there, they're back to work again, if that makes sense. So it helps put it in areas where they're going to be, where it's absolutely missions away from where they live. So I've got one there because I put one here originally because at that point in the game I was only up to here. So obviously I've expanded out now, so it's not really that much help. But again, they don't have to go all the way back to the house if it's up here. They can go there, then there. If I would put another temporary shelter over here, once I get the gold bases up and running, so again they haven't got to run all the way back. It just helps speed everything up. Okay, stockyard. Materials such as logs, stones and wood planks. So this is where you're going to need to store your logs, stones and wood planks. You're going to need to put these near all the trees that people are cutting down basically, and you're going to need to put maybe a couple of these down in your place so the villagers can deposit all of their cuttings and chops and whatever into there. Storehouse stores all the items, so you need a couple of these. Obviously if your storehouse is full, build another one. It does not cost a lot. Root cell up. This is for spoilage about food. This is what I was saying to you earlier. You're going to need one of these to stop your food spoiling, but once you do get to tier 3, then that's when you need one of these, because this is what the real help is basically. Wagons, producers of wagons. It can be used for the villagers to quickly transport goods from one place to another, increasing the efficiency of building, farming and harvesting. Yeah, basically this is essential as well. You're going to need these, and you're going to need a couple of people working. So this, instead of them walking carrying 5 stone, they can take a barrel and take 50 stone basically. That's just an example, that's not true figures, that's just an example. Granary is difficult for rats and pests to steal food, so again this is for storing wheat and other grains though, so that's good to have a couple of them around. Vaults, this is what you need for your town's gold. I'm on peaceful mode, so I haven't come across a lot of gold being stolen, but when you do get raided by raiders, they do steal gold. So if you've got a lot in your village, they're going to steal a lot. Basically, simple as that, unless you've got one of these. Food production, these are all the food production. You've got your hunter's cabin, which hunts, foraging shack, which does all your foods, herbs, all medicines, preparation of food, all that sort of stuff. Fishing shack, obviously fishes. This to grow crops. I'm not going to do any depth detail of crop field, but I will say this. I'll go to my crop field quickly. Crops you put down, you've got a list. You need to hover over them to see at what part in your year are you going to be building these crops. If it's going to be later on in the year, you don't want something like this because their frost tolerance is quite low, or you don't want something like this because their frost tolerance is so low it will just die. There's no point working on it. But on the flip side, it's very good with heat tolerance. So stuff like that you're going to need to look at. I suggest putting somebody in to maintain your crops as well, so something like this. But this will come in time, we'll get used to that. What else we got? This is tier 3 stuff. Obviously guys, if you hover over it, it will tell you what it does, but I'm just trying to give you detail on just a bit further, if that makes sense. You're going to need to pretty much own every single one of these as you're going through. These are just resource production buildings, so you hover over it, it tells you what it requires and it tells you what it produces. So if you hover over this and you think to yourself, oh, I've been really needing coal, produces coal, uses the wood, build one. I've got one just here. I've got quite a lot of people working on it. I've got 4 people working on mine. Defences, you've got a tower which obviously shoots out arrows against enemies. You've got the barracks which you can train people and they'll become then soldiers basically and help fight. But be aware, some of these buildings like this one has a monthly cost, so every month, it's 12 months in a year, every month it's going to take 5 gold off you. So if you're not producing enough gold, you'll be losing. And a good example of that is mine right here. I'm losing 55 gold every month, but because I'm on easy and because I'm doing very well on the trades, I can afford to lose that much basically. Yeah, simple as that really. I can afford to lose it, but you don't really want to be in the minuses, you want to be in the pluses. To combat that, you build more markets and you build more houses around, that sort of thing. You farm gold ore and you build gold, simple as that. Fences you use around your farms helps keep animals and stuff like that away, so that's pretty self-explanatory. The decorations increases your desirability of a certain area. So hopefully that is a better example of all the buildings and stuff like that, what they do, what you need, all that sort of thing. I've got 3, this here at the top is 3 people that die in basically, they're in healer homes. Right, this is an important thing as well. Labourers, you need to have enough labourers for your town. If you don't have enough labourers, nothing is going to work. You're not going to have enough people to bring in resources, which then in turn has a chain effect. So then it will stop all the buildings working, stop people working, and it is not good. If you do not have enough labourers, it is not good. At the minute I've got 2 of mine down, probably they're the 2 that are sick and dying. Yeah, but if you don't have enough, it is not good. Nothing will work and nothing will run smoothly. But this sort of page is a profession, so it tells you what everyone is doing at what time. I've got 8 people on this, I've got 3 people on this, I've got 3 out of 4, so you can add them and take them away quickly here. But such an important factor is keep having enough labourers. I've got 5 people that are able to build. You can increase or decrease that number, so that means at the minute only 2 are working. But if there's loads of buildings that are being produced, only 5 of them will work. But if I increase it, that means 9 of them can work. But at the minute, 5 for me is a good number. That's basically just that. Again, food stores. At the minute, months of food in my storage is 6 months. Food that is going to be lost due to spoilage over the next 12 months, basically, is what the red number is. And then it tells you what you've got, what you need more of. Simple as that. These are the years, resources, and other than that, I think that is a good guide to what you've done. Stuff at the bottom here, harvesting resources, you click that button, you can drag over, it will highlight certain bits, highlight it, and you can select what you want them to harvest. So if I didn't want them to harvest trees, unclick it, they won't harvest any trees. Bushes, berries, at the minute I don't want them to harvest, but stones and trees I do want them to harvest. So I can go around, highlight it all, and they will just eventually, all the labourers, that's why it's important to have labourers, will harvest all of this stuff. Keep the town clear of all trees. It takes 2 seconds. In their own time, they'll go through and take all these down. Simple as that. You've got managing walls button, so you can do what you want with the walls, to delete the walls quickly. Dirt roads allows you to place dirt roads. Simple as that. You click and drag. Set exploration point. So if I've got stuff over here like this is just black, right click and somebody will explore this area so it's no longer black. It's just as simple as that. Same with over here, clicking it like that, so they'll go and explore it. I'm pretty much at the edge of my map on all of these points, so no good examples, but here you go. They'll go explore all over here. So now some of the villagers are going to make their way all the way around and start exploring. So I can I can come quite far across over here. Maybe good for me to find out where that all is, what's on this side. So yeah, that's that button. You've got this button here, which is T. You can flatten the terrain around you. Bear in mind, the bigger you want to flatten something. So let's say I wanted to flatten this mountaintop. The bigger I wanted to flatten, the more it's going to cost me in labour, and it is quite a lot. And you're going to need to do it quite a lot of times. You're going to need to go over the same bit quite a few times to flatten the terrain enough to get buildings on it. See, for example, this mountain come out, but like this sort of section, it come out quite wide like this. I've had to flatten this terrain to get it down, which is quite hard, but in the end it's worth it. Is there anything else I can say? I don't think there is. Yeah, if I think of anything I'll do another video, but let me know guys if this was helpful or not, because I hope it was. I feel like I've rambled on for the last however long, 40 minutes or so, 35 minutes. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that it was a good sort of tutorial about general things. This isn't like an in-depth, if you want to be a pro tutorial. This was just stuff that I struggled with and I wish I knew when I started playing this game. So this is a 2023 video for the new year, for new players coming onto this game. This is a fantastic game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to do another episode of this, or even just a playthrough. You want to see beginning to end, just let me know. Thanks guys for watching. I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.